Wow, that music, I tell you, that's not part of my speech, but who can resist these women? So it is an incredible honor to be here with you and all of tonight's honorees, because tonight is a celebration of the efforts of women and the potential that is in each and every one of us. And I want to begin by reflecting on how far we've come and how much more we've got to do by reading you a couple of quotes from women protesting for justice and pushing our nation forward. Right? One, it was a celebration of working women, nurses, farmers, homemakers, doctors, college women, and more. It included women of color, state delegations, and male supporters. Two, the marchers came from all over the country at their own expense. Three, and it was just the start of using public protest as a tool to achieve universal rights. Four, the march was a collection of organizations who partnered with women who were working for reproductive rights, racial justice, LGBTQ+, and disability rights groups. Five, from an event bringing together more than 2 million people around the world, it's grown into a movement, or perhaps, more accurately, a hub for a variety of movements. Six, the marchers were mothers, caregivers, artists, activists, entrepreneurs, doctors, and leaders of industry and technology whose potential is unlimited and declared, "We rise." Now, it might surprise you to know that the first three quotes were in reference to the Women's Suffrage Parade of 1913. Officially, the Women's Suffrage Procession, which in fact was the first suffragist parade in Washington, D.C. Now, the last three quotes were reactions to the Women's March of 2017. Taken together, they not only illustrate how powerful collective action can be, but how far from over our struggle really is. Now, both were explosive gatherings where women came together to support each other and united in order to create change. Between 1913 and now, there has in fact been much progress. Now, there have been surges in activism that have propelled forward issues that affect from the right to vote and reproductive rights, advances, and including advances in the workplace. And we have so much to show, and we must be proud of this. Incredibly, we must be so proud of what we've done this past year, more than any other time, in my opinion, than in recent memory. Because now we are all reminded of the fragility of our forward progress. We've seen just how disastrous it can be to our society to have officials whose attitudes towards women harken back to a time when women didn't have the right to vote. But women have stood up, and frankly, they've stood tall, including me. Up again. And they've responded, we've all responded with a groundswell of activism that's taken root, making us move forward and refusing not to go back. Now, women like many of you who saw what was happening and heard what was being said and thought, I could do better. I can do better than this. In fact, we must do better than this. And for all the heartbreak and the dysfunction under this heinous administration, in fact, it's been the work of women that have been the glimmer of hope for the country. Now, I'm even going to clap for that. What we're doing to bring our thoughts and ideas to the forefront, that in fact is the silver lining. Women have been galvanized, and women will move our nation forward. Women who believe what Rebecca Traister said, that the fastest way to fix a broken system is to take it over. Women who have decided to say that if we truly live in a representative democracy, that it has to include us. and women like many of you in this audience who are running for elected office and taking it upon yourselves to take over your neighborhoods, your cities, and your states with good governance, smart leadership, and quite frankly, meaningful policies. And together, we are creating the wave. We are the wave. And this election cycle, more women, as you know, are signing up to run for elected office than ever before. So far, at least 575 women have declared their intention to run for the House, the Senate, or like myself, run for governor. And if elected, these women will not only make our democracy more representative and vibrant, they will honor the women pioneers who struggled and fought so that we all would have a chance to succeed. And often these pioneers went from being homemakers to advocates because they were called to do so. Women like Sonia, who was told that her daughter would have to live a second-class life simply because she was a person with a disability. But Sonia wasn't having it. She fought to make sure that her daughter would go to public school and have the highest quality of life. She entered spaces where she once thought she was voiceless and powerless, and then she found her voice and her power. She knocked on the doors of state officials. She upended regulations and norms that, quite frankly, ultimately led to a better quality of life for many more New Mexicans than just my late sister. Sonia Lujan, my mother, advocated for children and adults with disabilities because of her belief in the dignity of a human life and because she felt her energy and her tenacity could truly make a difference, and it did. Thank you. She was incredible. And all the women we are celebrating tonight has led me here. Not only did their legacy pave the way for my first run for office, but they've informed my fight for health care, for women's rights, for immigration reform, most recently Dreamers, and we're gonna win that damn thing. Because those Dreamers are in fact the very definition of the American dream. We are all following in the footsteps of these incredible pioneers. The women of today are leading movements that our daughters and our sons one day will be the beneficiaries of because we've pushed forward these issues to much greater heights. And if we elect more women to office, then ladies and gentlemen, research is on our side. Women legislators sponsor more bills. They pass more laws, and they direct more resources to their districts. And when it comes to leading in an ever-changing, complex world, women are actually more inclined to work collaboratively. I want to say that word again in case any of the Republican men in the House are listening. Women are more inclined to work collaboratively, which enables and empowers people to actually solve problems. Women are, in fact, the answer. We are. And key to all of this is Emily's List, an organization that's providing women like me with the tools and the resources needed to face the hurdles of running for office. And I am so thankful for the endorsement and support of Emily's List in my campaign to create opportunities for New Mexicans as their next governor. Finally, I want to congratulate Senator Patty Murray and Cook County State Attorney Kim Fox. I'm honored to work alongside you to empower our next generation of leaders as we fight for women and families, just as generations of women have always done. I want to thank you again for being here tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you for being champions. Thank you. Have a great night.